Thanks for joining us again for Simply Southern. I'm Kevin Worthington.
And I'm Mary Wilson. From Washington to Montgomery to a farm near you, a lot affects the food you eat and the clothes you wear. Later today, we'll have another rural roundup of agricultural news.
Most of us have had the occasion to visit the chiropractor, but will it work on one of your favorite four-legged friends? Fred Hunter's Alabama takes us to Covenant Farms for the surprising answer.
And I'm Stacy Little. You know, growing up, there weren't many summers that I don't remember having this cucumber and onion salad in the fridge, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make. Y'all stay tuned.
You might not believe it, but he was bigger than the Beatles. Who's that, you ask? Why, Revolutionary War hero, the Marquis de Lafayette, of course.
Of course.
Duh. When he returned to the United States in 1824, the crowd that gathered to greet him in New York City was 76,000 more people than the crowd that greeted the Beatles in 1964.
So Beatlemania had nothing on Marquis mania.
That's right.
His visit marked the beginning of a nationwide tour that 200 years later, we still celebrate.
Melissa Bowman takes us to the party.
Until we invent time machines, we have places like Montgomery's Old Alabama Town. Managed by the Landmarks Foundation, it's where visitors can explore historic buildings and see living history interpreters bring the past to life.
They get to experience the lives that people lived in the 19th century and see where Alabama came from and how our state and our society culture grew.
Old Alabama Town recently made history itself when it took part in bicentennial celebrations of the Marquis de Lafayette's visit to the United States. His travels included a night at Lucas Tavern, the oldest building on the property.
Lucas Tavern is one of two buildings that is left standing in the state of Alabama that was visited by the Marquis de Lafayette. The other is the Masonic Lodge in Claiborne.
So who was Lafayette? He was a French nobleman so inspired by the ideals of the American Revolution that he left aristocratic life to fight under George Washington and played a vital role in America's victory. The Lafayette Trail works to keep his memory alive.
Our broader goal is to educate Americans about the spirit of Lafayette and the values he upheld throughout his life, both here in the New World as well as in Europe. This is a man that believed in democratic equality.
Lafayette went on to champion freedom around the globe. He spent his life advocating for the rights of all people, including women, Native Americans, and the enslaved. As America approached its 50th birthday, President James Monroe invited him back to the U.S. to thank him for his contributions.
Monroe said, hey, we got to honor this guy. We've got to do something for him. We as Americans need to remember everything that we sacrificed to get to where we are now and kind of rediscover what it means to be an American.
From 1824 to 1825, Lafayette toured the nation and was greeted by crowds so big they'd make rock stars jealous. Every place he visited spared no expense to give him a hero's welcome, including the new state of Alabama.
Alabamians, they spend more money on entertaining him than they did on their own state house. I mean, it's incredible. That tells you everything you need to know, right? Southern hospitality, that's a real thing.
Today, groups across the country are commemorating Lafayette's visit with events matching the original timeline. The Alabama sites he visited held events earlier this year. Old Alabama Town's festivities even included Lafayette himself.
In 1825, Alabamians rolled out the red carpet for the American Revolution's last surviving major general. And 200 years later, we are still celebrating. Even if you missed the bicentennial events, no worries. You can always walk in Lafayette's footsteps here at Lucas Tavern.
Old Alabama Town's open year-round, and for a $15 ticket, you can see these places, see the place where Lafayette stayed, learn about people's lives through the 19th century in Alabama, and interact with a space that not just represents, but is the space where people experience their lives and history.
Additionally, the Lafayette Trail has placed historical markers around the country and offers free videos that can be accessed anytime.
We're going to keep telling the story of Lafayette because if you celebrate the life of Lafayette, you are actually celebrating the life of the United States.
So what would Lafayette think of all the attention he's getting 2 centuries later? Let's ask him.
I am overwhelmed that I should be remembered still for the things that I have done. And I would say that perhaps that supports the idea that the ideals I have supported my entire life were worth it. That people recognize the value of freedom and liberty and democracy.
For Simply Southern, I'm Melissa Bowman.
It's easy to see Lafayette's lasting impact on America thanks to numerous streets and cities named for him, pronounced a little differently sometimes. That's true here in Alabama. Of course, the most obvious places are called Lafayette, but there's others like Fayette, Fayetteville, and even LaGrange, which was the name of Lafayette's estate in France.
I never knew that.
Me neither.
The bicentennial celebration continues into the fall, plus there are plenty of ways to continue learning about his legacy. For educational resources, including Follow the Frenchman videos, go online to thelafayettetrail.org. And to learn more about Old Alabama Town, visit landmarksfoundation.com. Now, we all heard the song as kids, "The old gray mare just ain't what she used to be." But what if your favorite riding companion starts to develop a few symptoms of illness or injury? Fred Hunter's Alabama has a surprising new look at an ancient art.
Membership in the Alabama Farmers Federation has its perks, from discounts at hotels and amusement parks to telemedicine and medical air transport support. There's a number of benefits to take advantage of. Plus, being a member of the Alabama Farmers Federation means you're supporting the hardworking men and women who help feed and clothe our state. What's not to love about that? Visit alphafarmers.org/perks for a complete list of member perks today. These Alpha Insights are proudly presented by Alpha Insurance.
A farmer has to live on faith. We do all we can do, but we can only control so much.
Alabama is the second largest poultry growing state in the nation, so we're trying our best to grow all the corn we can for that.
What we produce not only feeds and clothes all of the United States, but about half of what we make goes on to the world market.
We've been able to improve yields, have some things that can help us produce a better crop. I'm proud of the product we make and proud that I can say I'm an Alabama farmer.
I'm Heath Clary from Greensboro, Alabama. I'm proud to be the Alabama Catfish Farmer of the Year. I've been raising catfish for 9 years, and I've been eating it longer than that. From fish fries to taco night, I've tried just about every recipe, and they're all great. Because no matter how you cook it, U.S. farm-raised catfish is always going to be fresh, clean, and mild. I make sure of that. Find recipes and restaurants at uscatfish.com.
Alabama's Black Belt is known for its world-class hunting and fishing, but there's so much more to explore. We had a blast spending time outdoors and even saw some birds I've never seen before. During our trip, we learned about some important Native American heritage and walked in the footsteps of civil rights icons. Dad loved golfing the world-renowned Robert Trent Jones golf trail while we were there. We even went glamping for the first time and had so much fun, Mom wants to go again. We all agree we can't wait to visit Alabama's Black Belt again for our next adventure.
Soybean is a very versatile product. We make crayons out of it.
A lot of the combines you see rolling through the fields have a lot of plastic side panels that are made from a soy product.
The soybeans that we grow on our farm mostly goes into chicken feed.
Soybean production in Alabama employs over 10,000 people.
We grow some of the best soybeans in the world.
We go the extra mile to make sure when our name is stamped on it, we know it's the best product we can produce.
Hey, how are you holding up?
I'm thirsty.
Well, there you go. Choose water.
I guess I'll take the water. There's another one. Alabama Extension is cool.
What's Extension?
They're like your go-to experts for everything. Gardening, nutrition, tips for our kids, farming. And hey, weren't you thinking about starting a business?
Yeah.
Extension does that.
Oh, sounds like I need to get connected.
Learn more at aces.edu.